just want to taste just to see. Wow! This thing is strong! Today, we're making what could potentially be the ultimate oyster sauce. It all started when we made XO sauce on the channel and it was just so good. I thought, let's do another one. When I started doing research on oyster sauce, I realized the modern day oyster sauce you buy from the supermarket is so far away from what it originally was. In the 1870s, people would simmer fresh oysters for 30 minutes, fish out the oysters for other stuff, and reduce the sauce to the extent that it starts to caramelize. Thus, the color we associate with oyster sauce today. The yield is extremely low. For every 100 grams of oysters, you yield less than 10 grams of oyster sauce, which explains why modern day production uses a completely different method. But today we break the bank. It's one of those things I want to know before I die. What would oyster sauce made from French guilleaudoux taste like? We have a dozen of beautiful guilleaudoux oysters here. I hope we get at least a teaspoon of oyster sauce out of it. Maybe we make some noodles. So the beauty is, because we're gonna cook the oysters, I don't need to show off my horrible shucking skills. We are just going to steam them until they're open. So into the steamer they go. About 5 minutes. I know it's a crime to do that to guilleaudoux, but I just want to know, you know, what if it's really, really good? I'll see you in 5 minutes. All right, after about 5 minutes, oh yeah, definitely done. So apparently, traditionally, they throw away the liquid and just add the oysters, but I'm sorry, I just can't do that. We're keeping everything. So, after they're cooked, they should be relatively easy to open, like that. Keeping everything. The liquid's pretty hot, so be careful. Before we reduce, we're gonna sieve everything again, so I'm just gonna be a bit reckless for this step, if I may. Now, of course, the liquid, they also go in. And now, all we have to do is to simmer this. I'm just gonna top it up with a tiny bit of water to cover everything properly. Because eventually, we want to reduce everything down to a very thick consistency anyway, so there's no point for too much dilution, unless the oysters are getting exposed. I can already see the hint of that oyster sauce color, so I think this might actually work. All right, once we're simmering, medium-low heat, 30 minutes. All right, after 30 minutes, you can tell from the smell that much deeper flavors have developed. If you've ever had dry oysters, it's a very similar smell to this. So now, what we need to do, stove off, we're going to fish out the oysters, and these we can dry in the oven and use them for dashi later. As you can see, they're very delicate now. The protein fibers have broken down almost fully into much smaller amino acid strands. And judging from the color of the liquid, I actually have no doubt it would darken naturally. Now, because we're going to reduce this rapidly, we're going to pass this through a sieve just to make sure we have no solids. Perfect. Now, the final stretch, the essence of 12 guilleaudoux oysters. Now we sieve it once more, panda whisk. Now we reduce. I just want to taste just to see. Wow, this thing is strong. Even as is so flavorsome and salty at the same time. Wow, the lingering taste is incredible. Reminds me of the best XO I've ever tasted. Wow. Oh, this is incredible. Gotta make some noodles to eat with this. I feel like it's one of those dark roux situations where you really need to mother it. And there'd be a very fine line between caramelization and burning. But even as is, I'm extremely happy with the result. I mean, is it worth 12 guilleaudoux? Probably not, but it's pretty incredible. Okay, there's too much on the line. Let's use a bigger whisk. Oh, this smell is incredible. Getting there. I didn't even mind caramelize it a bit more than I should and deglassing it with a bit of water. This thing is really strong. Oh my god, we're so close. I think that's almost all we can do. Look at this. You can see the consistency now. I think that's it. Stove off. It's strong. This is incredible. This really is incredible. Look at the texture now. It's thick. It doesn't have the caramel color that store-bought versions have. But this, the closest thing I could compare it to is a very, very strong prawn paste in terms of how strong the flavors are. But this is pure umami, mouth-coating oyster goodness. I think it's incredible. I don't know, shall we plate one? This is 12 oysters. So, when we started, we had 12 beautiful oysters in their own shells. With their juices, we simmered it for 30 minutes to break down the protein fibers, to release all the complex flavors from the amino acid strands. We then reduced it rapidly to produce this unassuming looking, yet extremely flavorful paste. That is what oyster sauce used to be like in the 1800s. This is Scylla dough oyster sauce. I can safely say this is my ultimate oyster sauce. I really, really hope you enjoy. I'm gonna have noodles now. Wow.